Basketball season started yesterday. We figured it out. Super Bowl ended.
Is that what happened?
Basketball started. I think that's how it went. I mean, well, I think for Blazer fans, we're going to go that route.
50-plus games in the season.
We're going to go that route. And last night, what a hell of a way to start this unofficial start of the season. Good Lord, Victor Wembanyama. He had a 27-point, 14 rebound, 10 block triple-double last night.
Yeah, and he did it in 28 minutes.
Holy guacamole.
28 minutes. 28 bleeping minutes. And I don't think we are talking about Victor Wembanyama in the sense that we should.
Well, they're terrible.
Because they're bad and there's no other veterans on this team.
That was their 11th win last night.
Yes.
They're 11-43.
They're only 4 wins behind the Trailblazers.
You can say that out loud. We know that. Yeah. It's like...
So, like, it's going to be interesting to see how the stretch of this season goes. But this is not... I'm going to say it. He's having a season, a first year, one of, if not the best ever.
Well, he's entering like this rarefied air already as a rookie. Because if you think of, there have only been 4 guys who have got recorded a triple-double as a rookie with 10 blocks associated with it. They are Mark Eaton.
Who's
awesome.
7'4" and one of the best shot blockers. Honestly, he might be the best shot blocker of all time. But his career was just so short.
Ralph Sampson,
who again 7'3", if I remember right,
and David Robinson,
7'1", who is the Admiral, who came in as a rookie, but wasn't a air quotes rookie because he served 3 years in the Navy.
He did it 3 times his rookie year, and so now if you look at it, there have only been 6 times ever that it's happened a 10-block triple-double by a rookie. 4 of them have been by San Antonio Spurs.
Not too bad. Turns out generational big man and super helpful.
You mentioned, David Robinson, going and serving in the Navy because he played at Navy. Both Mark Eaton and Ralph Sampson were 4-year college guys too. Victor Wembanyama is what, 19 or 20 years old?
20, yeah.
He's 20 years and 40 days old, which makes him the youngest to do it.
37 days older than Scoot.
Well, the youngest, and that's the youngest person ever to have a 10-block triple-double because Shaq was the youngest at 23. Like, truly, he's 20 years old, barely 20 years old.
And he's doing stuff that very few people have ever done.
And that, like, when you're starting to talk about, like, Hakeem Olajuwon territory, because the 27 points in the 14 rebounds to go along with that, that's like Olajuwon doing that with 5 assists as well. And this is the thing. Do we see Victor Wembanyama get a quadruple double? Because last night he had 5 assists to go along with all of that. You mentioned it. 28 minutes he played. 27, 14, 10, and 5. Do we see Wembanyama get a quadruple double at some point in his career?
Yes. And I'd argue he may be a guy who gets a quintuple double.
You think he gets the steals too if he plays 48 minutes in a playoff game?
I mean, his ability right now, I was looking at Rudy Gobert's Defensive Player of the Year award a couple years ago. Steals and blocks, stocks combined. Wemby through 42 games had more steals and blocks than Rudy Gobert did in his last Defensive Player of the Year win. Through 42.
This was last week, but the 2 leaders in steals for rookies were Victor Wembanyama and Toumani Camara.
Yeah.
Those 2 each had, and that was when they were both at 51. But leading the NBA in steals as a rookie is a 7-foot. How tall is he? 6?
7 foot. Well, technically, he's listed as 7'2", I believe, but he's 7'5".
Good Lord.
He's every bit of 7'5".
He's 7'5" in leading NBA's rookies in steals. That's wild.
The insane thing is when you look at historically the most impactful rookies we've ever seen. In my lifetime, there are 2 players. LeBron James, Shaquille O'Neal. Particularly when you talk about the physicality of those 2 guys, you look at the insanity of this, okay? So what makes Wemby so ridiculous is the per 36 numbers, because he's played 48 games so far this year. He's missed 5 games that they've sat him out. One, he rolled an ankle in, and the rest have been injury management on back-to-backs. One of those was in Portland, so I only got to see him once. Boo. But he, on average, plays 28 minutes a night. They don't play him 30-plus minutes. So he's having this insane production. If you look at his per-game stats, Victor Wembanyama is averaging 20 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.1 steals, 3.2 blocks. So that's 4.3 stocks, okay? Nobody else ever is doing that. Nobody, ever. Already in his per-game stats. You go to his per-36 stats, LeBron James averaged 19 a game. Shaquille O'Neal averaged 22 a game. Wembanyama's 26 a game. You go to rebounds. LeBron only averaged 5 per 36. Shaq.
Bum. What a bum.
Okay, Shaq, 13.2.
Guy's never going to make it.
Wemby, 12.7. Assists, 5.4 for LeBron, 1.8 for Shaq, 4 for Wemby. Steals, 1.5 for LeBron, 0.7 for Shaq, 1.5 for Wemby. Blocks, 0.7 for LeBron, 3.4 for Shaq, 4 for Wemby. Wemby in the per 36 categories wins everything except for assists and rebounds. And in assists, he blows Shaq out of the water. And in rebounds, he blows LeBron James out of the water. So you talk about the actual impact. Not only that, the efficiency. He significantly more efficient than LeBron James was. Trails Shaq, but also Wemby can hit threes and free throws.
What are his numbers kind of compared to like Hakeem Olajuwon though? Because that is the one that you sit there and the big who is a scorer, a passer, a rebounder, can block shots. Like Hakeem was able to do everything.
Okay, so I've got Hakeem on here on this list now. Hakeem is 21 points, 12 rebounds. So this is per 36. Wemby beats him out in those. He beats him out in assists. He beats him out in blocks. He beats him out he beats him in everything. In per 36 and in per game.
By how much though? I mean, is it like comparable? Because
yes, rebounds it's 1 per game. Assists it's 2.5. Steals it's 0.3. It's blocks it's 1.5.
Wow.
So and then in per game they're almost identical. Per game, that's 20.6 to 20.4 points per game. Rebounding, it's 11.9 to 10.2. Assists, Wemby has them doubled up. Steals, it's the same. Blocks, it's half a block a game.
How much can he add to his frame, though? Because he's 20 years old. You don't want to add it too quickly.
They don't want to add anything other than maybe at most 10 pounds, because what makes him so good is his mobility and his fluidity and the amount. He's already spending the LeBron James $1 million a year on his body.
And he was doing that at 17.
And the thing about him is I watched him warm up, and it was insane. The mobility and flex. Guys that big are never this flexible. When he sat down with his feet out straight in front of him, ankles together, like you're gonna sit and reach.
V-sit.
He did that, and I'm not kidding. His ribs were on top of his knees. That's the kind of mobility and flexibility he has in his hips.
Marilyn Manson. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
isn't that what he tried to do?
No, that's the kind of mobility he has. The flexibility. They don't want to add. And everyone's like, oh, he's going to get bullied around. I've watched guys try to bully him, and you know what he does? He gets knocked back, and then he's 7'5" with an 8 plus standing reach. He still blocks your shot. It doesn't matter. So the whole he's too skinny. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm just saying over the course of, because his entire career has been managed minutes, games played, all of that. His career has not been subscribed to the American way of AAU, playing all season long, Grego, and
they
wearing your body down.
Perfectly.
They have always limited how much action he takes. And this is like the one thing that you look at with a guy like that is, all right, can you take the punishment of 82 games for a decade?
And so far, it looks like it's totally fine. He had the one rolled ankle where a ball boy got too close and he stepped on, I think it was a ball boy on the baseline. And that won't ever happen again in San Antonio. I promise you that. Because when it was funny, when they came here, I was standing on the baseline when they were warming up when he came out, and their security and PR staff started like a circle like near us and just started like walking every few minutes, like as he was getting ready to come out, kind of like walking us away, creating this bubble around him. I'm not kidding. Like we all of us, all of the Portland media kind of noticed like this whole thing. Like
they probably listened to the show and were like, "There's that Moran guy. He's a serial killer. We've heard it on his radio show."
But in all seriousness, they treat him and protect him to the umpteenth level. It is insane.
Crazy.
But all of that is to say, he's different in this. This is his 20-year-old season. What does this guy look like at 26, 27?
That's with the better team around him too. With the better team around him, some of the numbers might actually go down because he won't be bailing other people out as much.
You look at it like his field goal attempts and stuff like that per game. He's taking 16, which Shaq took.
I'm not
16.
talking about shooting. I'm talking about on the defensive side of the ball and rebounding and stuff like that,
God.
where it's like he kind of has to do everything. They have Sohan, who is scrappy and will clean up some of that, but the team around him is so bad.
Yeah.
His recovery for those guys is,
and they've moved him to center after playing him at power forward for the first 25 games of the season, with Zach Collins kind of helping him out. Since they moved him to center, his numbers have skyrocketed, and what it looks like for him kind of going forward. Everybody wants to talk about who's next, who's going to be this. Can somebody who? Because right now it's a genuine question: who's LeBron James and who's Steph Curry going to hand off to? Is it Giannis? Is it Jokic? Wemby's the guy, in my opinion. Wemby is the next face of the league, and it's going to be the first international face of the league that they've ever had.
Oui.